Hey, it's Dr. Ernst, host of the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. And if you have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high triglycerides, or a palpitation or arrhythmia, I have a solution for you. I've written a new ebook, Heart Disease, Heal Thyself. It shows you the underlying functional causes of all these cardiovascular issues and gives you tips and techniques on how you can solve them naturally. You can grab it free right now just simply by texting the word heart plus your name and email to 704-906-2094. And as a bonus, I'm hosting a free live masterclass Saturday, June 21st. I'll take you through the steps of identifying why your blood pressure's high, your cholesterol's off balance, triglycerides, or there's a palpitation or arrhythmia, and what you can do immediately to start letting your body heal by itself. Yes, you can become your own cardiologist. Yes, you can actually lower your blood pressure, your cholesterols, and even reset an arrhythmia. Simply text the word heart plus your name and email to 704-906-2094. Again, 704-906-2094.
Beyond wine, we really care about health. The health of the planet and the health of each other. That's what inspired us to start this business. Our family of team members meets every morning for a group meditation, followed by an open gratitude session. We believe a sound mind with a focus on peace is the best instrument for change. Joint meditation is the cornerstone of our company culture, and it helps us remember what's important, spreading joy and love, just like our family growers. Our family is a collection of passionate, health-conscious individuals who love to laugh and enjoy each other's company. We eat seasonally, grow our own vegetables, cook together, and share wine. Our team is incredibly dedicated to our mission. Everything from sourcing the wines to answering service questions, your natural wines were found and sourced around the world by our wine team. They taste every one, oversee their lab testing, and choose exactly which ones go in which box. If you order, your individual box will be packed by our incredibly hardworking fulfillment team. If you have any questions, your service requests will be handled by a wonderfully loving member experience family who only have one goal in mind, your 100% happiness. This video is put together by our talented media team, filmed and edited in-house, just like the rest of our artful media. From our unique creations to our printed lifestyle piece called A Matter of Taste. We put love into everything we do, and we hope to share it with you.
Would you like to experience a better night's sleep? Want to feel well rested and ready for your day? Discover an amazing solution with Celient Sleep Recovery. Our Celient Sleep Recovery products are made from a patented yarn embedded with a blend of 13 infrared active minerals. Celient technology never washes out. The benefits will last for their entire lifespan. Minerals reflect the body's own energy by using Celient infrared active technology, boosting your oxygen levels and improving circulation to reach REM sleep gracefully. Our customers love to comfortably sleep throughout the night because of Celient. We've conducted 9 independent clinical studies by well-respected scientific institutions and universities that prove the many positive effects Celient has on the body. Our technology is designed to help you achieve a refreshing sleep recovery. Get into bed to experience our smooth Celient Egyptian cotton blend sheets. Protect your mattress against the sands of time with our Celient mattress protectors. With our pillow protectors, you get the benefits of our recovery therapy. Explore new places and feel well rested throughout your journeys. Discover luxurious support that allows you to sleep in almost any position. Neck blankets are small and compact. You can bring them with you just about anywhere. Experience the foundation your body deserves. Start waking up refreshed and always ready for the day ahead. It's time to achieve the best sleep of your life to unlock your hidden potential. Start experiencing a better night's sleep with our Celient Sleep Recovery products today. Celient. Recycle your body's energy.
Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. You're listening to the Ask Dr. Ernst show. My name is Dr. Ernst, and hey, it's a show where pounds are shed, disease is dead, and where you get to be set free from your health problems. You can also think of the Ask Dr. Ernst show as a destination for unlocking your body's natural healing potential. When you uncover the truth behind modern myths in health and you dive deep into natural answers, you're going to find solutions that your medical doctors have never mentioned. And today's show is going to do something that I think is revolutionary. We're going to set the record straight about how do you actually deal with high blood pressure the right way. And unfortunately, high blood pressure, also known as hypertension, is something that today is being overprescribed, in my opinion. It is currently the most over-medicated, misunderstood condition in modern healthcare, again, in my opinion, because high blood pressure, also known as hypertension, today is not what it used to be 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago. What if I told you that your normal blood pressure that your doctor's aiming for, this 120/80, is not actually normal possibly for you? And the cause of elevated blood pressure is often being ignored because you can't treat the underlying real functional root causes of high blood pressure with prescriptive medications. So in today's show, I'm going to show you the top 5 real reasons blood pressure is spiking for most people. And we're going to go over then the top 5 natural things you can do to start seeing drastic changes in your blood pressure, potentially within a week's period. So let's begin with a true foundation. The figure 120/80, the normal blood pressure that we've all sort of been like gold standard trained on, is not a divine decree of human biology. It's simply a statistical mean. It's the average based on population studies. The number was derived decades ago when researchers took large populations of people and just simply started plotting out a bell curve of what their blood pressures were. So some people had blood pressure of 140/100, and it was considered perfectly normal for them. Others had 130/90, and again, perfectly normal for them. Some of them had 120/80. Some had 110/70, and some even had it as low as 100/60. Now, if you understand basic statistics, the median curve represents roughly about 63 to 65% of everybody surveyed. So it was the largest group, but yet there's the remainder, the 15, 20, 30% that fall outside of that average, and it's normal for them. So despite this natural variation in blood pressure, medical authorities slowly started defining what is considered hypertension or borderline hypertensive. So as an example, before 1993, it wasn't even thought of as being in the hypertensive zones unless you were getting close to 145, 150 for systolic pressure, the top number when you're looking at blood pressure. In 1993, a systolic pressure of 140 was considered borderline. Then in 2003, they dropped that number from 140 to 130. Again, being just borderline, like it might be hypertensive. But a bold move took place in 2017. Many of you may remember this, or you might not. The American Heart Association overnight defined hypertension as anything over 130/80. So if you were higher than 130 or higher than 80, boom, it was a hypertensive diagnosis. No longer borderline, no longer looking at it. And this shift did not come from research. It came from a guideline committee that had multiple ties to pharmaceutical industries. And why would they do this? Because the new definition, 130/80, created a surge in prescriptive medications. When the guidelines were adjusted in 2017, overnight, 31 million Americans instantly now qualified for blood pressure medications. That's 31 million patients and billions of dollars in revenue. And the change wasn't based on any shifts in science. It was something purely motivated, unfortunately, by profit and policy. In fact, there have been several peer-studied reviews mentioning this. Look at this one. In the Lancet and the British Medical Journal, they suggest that the cardiovascular benefits of aggressively lowering blood pressure in patients that didn't have previous heart disease is minimal or even potentially harmful. By over-lowering blood pressure using prescriptive medications, you reduce the oxygen delivery to the brain, the kidney, and vital organs. This is why so many patients that take antihypertensives are dizzy, start to fall, have cognitive declines. And let's not just forget the elephant in the room here. In my opinion, hypertension is the symptom. It's not a condition. It's not a disease. It's not even really truly a diagnosis. It's just the warning sign. Think of it as a signpost. Your body must be compensating for something. Unfortunately, our current conventional model is not trained to ask the question why. It's simply an observation of the elevation straight to a prescription for a medication. But what if the pressure is building up in your arteries because you are inflamed? What if it's because your kidneys or your liver is congested and toxic? What if it's because your nervous system is in a constant state of fight or flight, so an overly stressed system? Today, what I'm going to do is pull back the curtain on the 5 most surprising, overlooked, underdiagnosed causes of high blood pressure. These aren't what you're going to hear in a 7-minute conversation with your physician. They are real functional triggers, root causes that when you address them will allow your blood pressure to start normalizing, and it will help you to potentially reduce the reliance on chronic pharmaceutical medications. So a word of caution, if you implement these techniques I'm going to teach you today and you're taking a prescription medication, you must start watching your blood pressure. Let's be smart here. If your pressure starts dropping drastically and it starts to go lower than what you're used to and you're prescribed, now it's time to have a conversation with your physician and say, hey, I've implemented some natural techniques. Can you help me reduce the reliance on my medications? And if you'd like to know what we're going to talk about today and have it in your hands, download the Heart Disease Heal Thyself ebook. It is a functional guide to reversing heart disease. And since blood pressure is a primary outward sign of it, we have all the techniques of naturally lowering blood pressure in the ebook. If you'd like this ebook, simply text the word HEART plus your name and email to 704-906-2094. And as an added bonus, Saturday, June 21st. Yes, I know it's like a month away from today, but we're going to have thousands of people registered and joining us for this masterclass where I'm hosting how to lower blood pressure, cholesterol, triglycerides, even resetting palpitations and arrhythmias naturally, holistically, so you can reduce or eliminate your medications safely through the guise of your physician. It's 100% free for you to attend. Simply text the word HEART plus your name and email to 704-906-2094. The ebook and the event will be yours free. Okay, so what is surprising cause number 1? What is causing more blood pressure elevations than anything else? And it is heavy metal toxicity. I don't care what you think about this, but I'm here to tell you today, lead, mercury, cadmium, arsenic. These aren't, as your doctor says, just some hokey dokey, nope, don't worry about it. You don't need to deal with heavy metals. There's no such thing as heavy metal toxicity. Yes, there is chronic inflammatory toxicity from heavy metals. It is by far one of the most dangerous silent contributors to cardiovascular disease and high blood pressure. The issue is we know lead, mercury, cadmium, and arsenic are neurotoxic, nephrotoxic, kidney, and vascular toxic, meaning they can damage your brain, your kidneys, and your blood vessels. And listen to this. There are studies published, the Environmental Health Perspectives, and even the prestigious Journal of American Medical Association has linked exposures to heavy metals, lead, mercury, cadmium, and arsenic, to elevations in blood pressure, atherosclerosis, and even kidney dysfunction. Again, the problem is your classic conventional physician is not testing you for heavy metals. And these metals do not show up in standard blood work because heavy metals bioaccumulate. It means they go into your tissues. They're inside your fat cells. They're inside your bones. They're inside your nervous system. Mercury, as an example, we know disrupts nitric oxide, which is vital for your arteries to dilate. Without nitric oxide, vessels constrict, blood pressure goes up. When you have enough nitric oxide, blood vessels become they become open, they're less stiff, they're more pliable, and it causes your blood pressure to drop. Lead, even in small amounts, is now known to disrupt the endothelial lining of the blood vessels of your heart. It creates oxidative stress, it irritates the kidney functionality, all of which can elevate blood pressure. And I found a study that I think is phenomenal. The Lancet Public Health published an article showing over 400,000 deaths annually in the United States with hypertension as a primary driver, and lead is found to be a contributing factor in the majority of those. And again, my challenge is most classic cardiologists and physicians are not running heavy metal exams because you must do a very unique test for this. In order to find out if you have heavy metals in your body, we have to look at body burden. And one of the easiest ways to do that is through a hair assessment, where we take some of the hair off the back of your neck, we ship it out to a lab. Because hair is a protein that is printed over time, anything that is in the cell tissues and the membranes of the cells will affect how the hair is printing data. You can actually find metals in your hair strands. So the lab will look to see if you have aluminum, lead, mercury, cadmium, arsenic, etc. And the interesting thing is most patients with extremely stubborn high blood pressure respond dramatically when we find and isolate the heavy metal and remove it through detoxification processes, including binders and chelators and infrared saunas, and even doing high antioxidant nutrient diets. All of this can decrease congestion and allow your body to clear the interference in the first place. Guys, heavy metal toxicity is not just some sort of fringe theory. It's a mainstream, evidence-backed contributor to chronic cardiovascular health issues. And until we detox our tissues from metals, no amount of medication on the earth is going to lower blood pressure if a heavy metal is a known root cause. Now, surprising cause number 2, the link between your thyroid and your blood pressure. There is what's known as subclinical hypothyroidism. It's a condition where while your tests say you don't have a thyroid issue because they're only looking at TSH, you actually have low levels or lower than normal levels of the production of the active thyroid hormone called free T3. You have to understand this. Your thyroid hormones govern your basal metabolic rate, which includes how fast and hard your heart pumps and the flexibility of your arteries. When your thyroid levels start to dip, your metabolism slows down and vascular tone decreases. This means the arteries are less elastic, allowing for resistance in vascular systems. There was some research published in the American Journal of Hypertension that confirmed people with subclinical hypothyroidism have a significantly higher diastolic blood pressure, even in the absence of other risk factors. And unfortunately, again, the classic thyroid panel run by our medical doctors is significantly inadequate. It only looks at TSH and sometimes T4. But TSH is a pituitary hormone, not a thyroid hormone. And T4 doesn't account for whether the hormone has been converted into the active hormone or not. What you really need to get a true measurement of your thyroid is free T3, free T4, reverse T3s, and thyroid antibodies. And another issue is that thyroid hormone directly affects the ability for your kidneys to reabsorb sodium, which means even small amounts of hypothyroidism can cause fluid retention, which is another driver of elevated blood pressure. I found a study in the journal Clinical Endocrinology where they show patients with TSH levels between 2.5 and 4.5, which is still considered, by the way, normal under conventional physicians, showed significantly increased risks of having hypertension. So even though their thyroid levels were perfect, they were at higher risks because they're not actively converting their thyroid hormone properly. We also know that subclinical hypothyroidism is something you can't feel. So this is why it's very important to have some sort of an annual physical so we can look to see, is your body functioning the way that it should? The sad truth is most conventionally trained physicians are not trained enough to detect and even treat early thyroid dysfunction unless it's something that's glaringly obvious on a lab. And unfortunately, they'll go after thyroid medications instead of looking to the underlying reason. When you start to fix thyroid sluggishness, you support energy, metabolism, vascular tone, and yes, even blood pressure. Now, check this out. Cause number 3. This is a big one. Hidden food sensitivities. Food sensitivities, which would be known as a delayed hypersensitivity reaction, are very profound and are running rampant throughout people and their health. Okay, with conventional medicine, they tend to focus on food allergies, which is the promotion of, say, like a histamine-driven system or an IgE anaphylactic style response. But food sensitivities activate your immune system differently. They stimulate something known as an IgG-IgA pathway, which triggers inflammation and subtle changes in blood pressure. When you eat a food that your body is intolerant to, like gluten or dairy or soy or corn, the most classic ones we react to, the immune system responds by sending an exorbitant amount of cytokines, interleukins, and pro-inflammatory molecules out into your bloodstream. It has been shown to damage the endothelial lining of your blood vessels. Over time, this causes them to stiffen and narrow, which is a process known as endothelial dysfunction, which is one of the key leaders to hypertension. A study published in the journal Hypertension Research showed that patients with systemic inflammation due to gut permeability issues, leaky gut, were twice as likely to have high blood pressure regardless of their age or their activity level. So the study suggests that your body's immune system, not just salt or genetics, is a major player in cardiovascular function. And if we add to the complexity of this, sensitivities from foods are not immediate. If you eat a piece of bread now and feel fine, immediately you might think, oh, no big deal. But if days or even hours later we start to see changes in your health, that's a delayed response. Beneath the surface, your immune system is forming all kinds of complex messengers, and over time, chronic elevated sympathetic tone or stress to your immune system can drive up heart rate, tighten vessels, and even push blood pressure higher. What's also known is that food sensitivities will disrupt the gut-brain axis. So when your gut lining is inflamed, it sends signals directly to your brain through your vagus nerve, causing hypothalamic dysfunction, which increases cortisol production. And cortisol is your stress hormone. It is a very powerful vasoconstrictor. So if you have chronically high levels of cortisol, it raises both systolic and diastolic pressure. There are studies showing that if you remove foods that create sensitivity, grains, so that's wheat, corn, rice, and oats, and dairy, you find often most patients see drops in their blood pressures 10 to 15 points naturally without needing to manipulate sodium, salt, diuretics, or use prescriptive medications. Food is information. Remember this. What's important is if it's inflammatory, it drives disease. So when it comes to clean and compatible eating, your pressure can start to stabilize. Again, if you're looking for, well, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to eat? Inside the Heart Disease Heal Thyself ebook is everything you need to help you start to reset blood pressure, cholesterol, triglycerides, even palpitations and arrhythmias by addressing the underlying root cause. If you'd like a copy of that ebook and to join us for the Masterclass on Saturday, June 21st, it's at 10 a.m. in the morning. It's live and free. Text the word HEART plus your name and email to 704-906-2094. We'll send the ebook to you. You're registered for the masterclass, and now it's time to start turning your heart health around quickly. Surprising cause number 4, vagal nerve dysfunction and the fact that you are not breathing properly. Breathing is one of the most underappreciated regulators of blood pressure in the human body. Most people think that breathing is just simply an exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide, but in reality, the way you breathe affects your nervous system, your heart rate, your vascular tone, and even your blood pressure. When you do these short, shallow, rapid mouth-based breathing, so like a lot of us do without even knowing it, it triggers sympathetic dominance, which drives us into a fight or flight response. And guess what? It keeps blood pressure elevated. Most Americans are chronic mouth breathers, especially at night. This shifts your body into a state of low stress, which increases cortisol, adrenaline, and even norepinephrine. All of these are hormones that are not only going to elevate blood sugar, but they shut off your immune function. They can constrict blood vessels, and they raise your heart rate. And over time, guess what that does? Blood pressure goes up. On the other hand, if you breathe through your nose, specifically at night, this is why it's so popular to tape your mouth shutter. Use these mouth guards that make it so that you can't breathe through your mouth at night. Constant nasal breathing through your nose. Parasympathetic stimulation, which promotes relaxation and nitric oxide production. It helps to dilate your blood vessels and reduce blood pressure. Guys, this is profound. The Journal of Applied Physiology confirms this. Slow, deep nasal breathing can reduce your blood pressure as much as 10 points systolic in just a matter of minutes. And I don't know about you, but it's free to start doing this. Now, the vagus nerve is the master parasympathetic nerve. The vagus nerve controls your heart rate, your digestion, and your stress response. When the vagus nerve tone is low, because of either subluxation, misalignments, poor posture, your body gets stuck in sympathetic overdrive. This results in a high resting heart rate, faster breathing, and yes, even elevated blood pressure and elevated cholesterols. They've shown techniques like humming and gargling water, cold exposures, diaphragmatic breathing, and even chiropractic adjustments to the upper cervical spine can increase vagal tone. There was a study published in Frontiers of Neuroscience. It showed that vagal nerve stimulation can reduce your blood pressure as much as 12 points on systolic. Yet you rarely ever hear your doctor saying, go to a chiropractor, get adjusted, and let's start focusing on breathing. Most medical doctors don't adjust breathing patterns or vagal tone or sleep postures. They will ask if you snore to go get a sleep study, and then you're put on a CPAP machine to, again, force oxygen into your body. But if you begin doing daily breath work, vagal nerve stimulation, and start addressing your spine, you can see your blood pressure drop very, very quickly. In fact, when we come back from our commercial break, I'm going to give you guys the top 5 techniques that you can implement right now today to start lowering your blood pressure. Okay, hidden cause number 5. This is going to be a shocking one. Ready? Your mouth. It may surprise you to learn that blood pressure can be dictated by your mouth. Specifically, what I'm talking about are hidden infections that live in your mouth. Root canals that still have some level of a bacterial infection underneath it. Cavitations in the jaw. A lot of times, older dental work can have subclinical infections underneath it. Your mouth is not a sterile environment. In fact, it's the gateway for most people to systemic inflammation because your mouth affects your heart, your kidneys, your vascular system. Dr. Weston A. Price, a pioneer in dental research, demonstrated as far back in the 30s that root canal teeth can still have subclinical infections underneath them. And despite his findings, most physicians in modern dentistry will say, there's no connection between root canals and high blood pressure. Oral pathogens known as endotoxins and lipopolysaccharides can inflame the endothelial lining of the blood vessels. Listen to a study that was published by the Journal of Clinical Periodontology. It's a large word, isn't it? They showed that people with periodontal disease or infections in their mouth, ready for this, 2 to 3 times higher risk of having hypertension, even after looking at their body weight, their age, and their healthy habits. Inflammation from your mouth can reach your arteries quickly. Cavitations or small pockets of unhealed bone in the jaw or an old wisdom tooth extraction may be the source of a chronic hidden infection. They don't always show up on standard x-rays because they can house bacteria that don't use oxygen for energy. So not only that, but a lot of our teeth are the source of our heavy metals. So toxic debris, the lipopolysaccharides, the endotoxins from the bacteria can get into our bloodstream. And these microscopic infections put strains on your kidney. Remember, kidney filtration is extremely important for blood pressure. So when your kidneys don't regulate your salt properly, fluids build up, vascular tone starts to increase, and it can lead to elevations in blood pressure. The most important thing you can do is reach out to a functional dentist and look for something called a cone beam CT. It is the best way to look for silent, hidden infections. And if you have a trained functional dentist who can look for them, they can even help you to find the source, which can lower your blood pressure when you clear the infection. So there you have it. We just talked about the top 5 reasons that blood pressure is probably elevated that you didn't know about. Heavy metal toxicities can stiffen your arteries and even damage your kidneys. Mild thyroid dysfunction can change the way the body reacts in a metabolic level. Hidden food sensitivities can inflame the tissues of your body and drive inflammation up. poor vagal nerve tone can shut off the sympathetic and parasympathetic balance, so we drive ourselves into hypertension. And the lingering toxic dental infections can lead to elevations in cardiovascular functionality. So when we come back from this commercial break, I'm going to show you now the top 5 things you can do to reset your blood pressure fast. And don't forget, this is your chance right now to grab the Heart Disease Heal Thyself eBook and Masterclass on Saturday, June 21st. Text the word HEART plus your name and email to 704-906-2094. That's 704-906-2094. Hey, it's the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
We've designed a fully curated membership program. Every selection you receive is different and unique. Every wine is picked by our wine team, lab tested for purity, and curated into a special box for your enjoyment. So how does the membership work? We offer 2 main options: a half case of 6 bottles or a full case of 12. You can request all reds, all whites, or a perfect split of both. Then you can set the frequency, monthly or every other month. We offer a similar simple membership for rosé and sparkling wines. After you choose these basic options, we'll do the rest. With every box we send you, we aim to present the greatest diversity of flavors, textures, and profiles. There is a healthy mix of the classics, but also rare varietals. We do this because natural wines taste different from their commercial counterparts. We want to share the best possible experience with you, so you can discover new wines you love. And you can always reorder a wine that took your heart, or ask us to avoid certain profiles. The best part is, you don't need any wine knowledge to fully enjoy these boxes. We curate our selections to be enjoyed without worry. Ultimately, this is Dry Farm Wines. We are so grateful to be able to share the power of natural wines with you.
Would you like to experience a better night's sleep? Want to feel well rested and ready for your day? Discover an amazing solution with Celient Sleep Recovery. Our Celient Sleep Recovery products are made from a patented yarn, embedded with a blend of 13 infrared active minerals. Celient technology never washes out. The benefits will last for their entire lifespan. Minerals reflect the body's own energy by using Celient infrared active technology, boosting your oxygen levels and improving circulation to reach REM sleep gracefully. Our customers love to comfortably sleep throughout the night because of Celient. We've conducted 9 independent clinical studies by well-respected scientific institutions and universities that prove the many positive effects Celient has on the body. Our technology is designed to help you achieve a refreshing sleep recovery. Experience the foundation your body deserves. Start waking up refreshed and always ready for the day ahead. It's time to achieve the best sleep of your life to unlock your hidden potential. Start experiencing a better night's sleep with our Celient Sleep Recovery products today. Celient. Recycle your body's energy.
What if we told you that the health benefits of coffee could actually be increased through conscious roasting, sourcing, and processing? Introducing Purity, a health-conscious coffee company. At Purity, we've brought together a world-class team to analyze every step in the production chain from cherry to cup. We make decisions with only one thing in mind: how can we make the healthiest coffee in the world? Here's our 3-step process. Step 1. We search the world for the highest quality organic green beans that meet our exacting standards. Way less than 1% of coffee worldwide fit our sourcing criteria. Step 2. We test, and test again to create a specific roasting protocol for each harvest that maximizes healthy compounds and minimizes toxins. Step 3. We nitrogen pack our coffee within 48 hours of roasting and deliver to your door every 2 weeks to ensure maximum freshness. The result is the ultimate coffee drinking experience. You'll not only taste the difference in our clean, healthy coffee, with Purity, you'll feel the difference.
Our coffee club members report a bright, alert lift with less jitters than regular coffee and much more gentle on the stomach.
Sign up for Purity today, and you'll never have to worry about your source for healthy coffee again.
Welcome back to the Ask Dr. Ernst show. Hey, my name is Dr. Ernst. This is your prescription today for a radical health transformation. Hey, if you're just tuning in, we've spent the first half of the show unpacking the hidden reasons why your blood pressure is elevated. Causes that your conventional doctors are never going to investigate, everything from heavy metal toxicity to vagal nerve dysfunction. And now, in the second half, we're going to flip the narrative onto the solution for lowering your blood pressure quickly. So if your blood pressure is a symptom, remember this, not a disease, then masking it with prescriptive medications is never going to resolve the underlying root dysfunction. You must heal the terrain of your body. And the good news is your body is designed to regulate your blood pressure naturally. If you support it with the right environment, nutrients, and great neurological input from your brain and spinal cord, then your body is going to reset itself naturally. So that's what we're going to explore now, the 5 most effective techniques that are research-backed that will help you restore your pressures naturally without medications. And if you're going, Dr. Ernst, I just want them now, give them to me. Download the Heart Disease Heal Thyself ebook. It's a complete guide to resolving heart disease, high blood pressure, elevated cholesterols, elevated triglycerides, palpitations, arrhythmias. If you have a heart health issue, this ebook is yours, and it will give you the resources that you need to start healing your heart naturally. Simply text the word heart plus your name and email to 704-906-2094. And again, as an added bonus, on Saturday, June 21st, yes, I know it's like about 4 weeks away from today, but I promise you, we're going to have close to 1,000 plus people registered. It's the Heart Disease Heal Thyself Masterclass, one of the largest masterclasses I do on an annual cycle. We're going to show you the tests that you can get to find the underlying root cause of what's going on with your heart. We're going to reveal to you how you can become your own cardiologist and start healing your heart naturally with simple techniques that you can do at home. The event is completely free. Simply text the word heart plus your name and email again to 704-906-2094. That's 704-906-2094. When it comes to heart health, I want to let you just know something. Nature is always going to provide an answer. And what functional medicine has taught us is that if you remove the interference and supply your body with what it needs, healing is not only possible, it's actually predictable. So these next 5 techniques are something that works synergistically. Remember, they're not just quick fixes. They are powerful lifestyle shifts that will help you turn your entire body around to become a self-healing, self-regulating system the way it was created. Now, let me be clear. We're not ignoring numbers. It's about understanding what they're trying to tell you. And it's understanding that information is something that is going to reveal the deeper imbalance. So if you're somebody, again, who's tired of taking pills without results, or you're worried about the long-term ramifications of medication usage, or if you're looking for a better way, a smarter way to take care of your cardiovascular health, this segment right now is for you. Each of the 5 methods we're going to explore are grounded in science. I'll give you some of the studies that show this, supported by clinical outcomes, again, by studies that show us, and they're aligned with the philosophy that we're going to treat the root cause, not the result. So you're going to hear how things like fasting and lowering insulin and changing your vessel tones and how chiropractic care can change neurological tone, and even how detoxification can remove the reason for the elevations in your blood pressure. And again, all during our show today, you can grab the Heart Disease Heal Thyself ebook. You can join us for the masterclass on Saturday, June 21st. Just simply text your name and your email with the word heart to 704-906-2094. Okay, let's begin with the most foundational and overlooked cardiovascular approach, detoxification. When we talk about lowering blood pressure naturally, very few people think detoxing is the method I should go. Most of us think it's for losing weight or for getting rid of some sort of toxin, but I'm here to tell you it's one of the most critical starting points. We talked in segment 1 that one of the most toxic elements for your heart are toxic heavy metals. I'm going to add to this the layers of glyphosates and plastics and solvents and all the things that interfere with cardiovascular health. The reason for this is toxins interfere with nitric oxide signaling and also kidney functionality. So if nitric oxide signaling goes down, you physically cannot relax the blood vessels of your heart and of your system, so pressure will innately go up. When kidney functionality starts to drop and eGFR, the filtration power of your kidney, goes down, you're going to retain fluids and your blood pressure goes up. At a cellular level, toxins, pesticides, heavy metals, they damage the mitochondria, which are the powerhouses of your cells. If you don't know this, mitochondrial dysfunction leads to a decrease in energy productivity, which both contribute to arterial stiffness and elevated blood pressure. So detoxification can help restore mitochondrial function, reduce inflammation, improve vascular responsiveness, and in short, it gives your blood vessels the ability to breathe again because nitric oxide is needed for them to open up. Research from Toxicological Letters and the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health has shown that if you have and you undergo a medically guided detox process, there are significant results in reducing both systolic and diastolic pressure. And it's not because of taking medications, it's because we're removing toxins and getting rid of the hidden obstacles. Now listen, a true cell detox is not juicing or doing some sort of 3-day fast or mixing lemon water with cayenne pepper and maple syrup. It involves physically opening the drainage pathways of your body. You have to enhance liver function, kidney function, lymphatics, and colon. You have to use binders that can actually go in and grab those toxins and pull them out of you. Activated charcoal is a great one. Fulvic acid, bentonite clay. Sometimes we need to use chelators like EDTA and zeolites. If we incorporate things like sauna therapy, sweating it out, coffee enemas, dry brushing, even hyperbaric oxygen, you can enhance the detoxification pathways. What we do is recommend that you get tested to find out what your toxic load is. You can do urinary toxic tests, you can do hair toxic tests, and within weeks, if we identify your toxin and develop a custom binding program for you, your body can start to see drastic changes. This method is what's most often overlooked. You can't heal yourself if you're currently poisoned. Detoxification is not just a buzzword. It's physically a biological step that is necessary for your body to clean itself out. And when you restore cellular clarity, you open the door for every system in your body to start working better, and you can see blood pressure drop drastically by removing heavy metals and toxins. Now, if we want to go to layer number 2, something we talk about every single show is the power of lowering your insulin levels, even if you're a diabetic or non-diabetic, through intermittent fasting and time-restrictive eating. Fasting is one of the most ancient practices known to man that can enhance cardiovascular function. When you fast, you give your digestive system a break. Your insulin levels start to go down. Systemic inflammation levels go down, and your body starts to improve what's called autonomic balance. This is all going to translate to lower vascular resistance, improved arterial elasticity, so the vessels actually become more flexible, and it can reduce blood pressure. The most common is what the British Journal of Nutrition found to be the best way to improve nitric oxide balance. So ready to listen to this. The British Journal of Nutrition, if you do a 16-hour fast, which would be 8 hours of sleeping, first 8 hours of being awake, and you eat during the second 8 hours, then your body starts to increase nitric oxide production. This lowers both systolic and diastolic pressure, according to the British Journal of Nutrition, as much as 10 to 12 points. So imagine going from 130 to 120, 140 to 130, just simply by intermittent fasting. The reason for this is when you fast, your insulin levels drop. High levels of insulin are known to retain salt and water and increase cortisol, which is a stress response. When you improve your insulin sensitivity through fasting, it helps your kidneys to excrete all the excess sodium and the volume of excess liquid, relaxes your blood vessels. It's a multi-layered effect that no prescriptive pill can actually address. And again, when you get into a state of mild ketosis, you stimulate something called autophagy, which is the body's natural mechanism of cleaning out cellular debris and reducing inflammation. We often tell people, again, do a 16-hour fasting window and an 8-hour eating window. So you sleep for 8, there's your first of the 16. You're awake for the second 8, there's the second half of the 16, and then you eat for the third portion of the 8. Noon to 8, for example, or 1 to 9. Just simply pick an 8-hour eating window and only eat food during that time frame. You know the benefit of this? It's simple, it's free, and it works. And it's even in the published studies. Number 3, this is something a lot of people overlook. The power of chiropractic care and resetting your vagus nerve so that you can reset your brain's tone of your nervous system and allow for your blood pressure to be restored. Again, one of the most overlooked tools of lowering blood pressure is your chiropractic care. Specifically, though, structural neurological restoration. It has to be a system where they're identifying and assessing subluxations in the upper cervical spine. This is not your walk-in, crack, adjustment, leave type of a chiropractic office. It's one that's going to do a structural assessment, usually thermography, digital x-rays, using computer technology, analyzing the tone of your spine, giving you a structural adjustment, and then reassessing and remeasuring the tone of your nervous system to show proof that you reduced your sympathetic stress and increased your parasympathetic system. Remember, your spine is not just a structural system that keeps you upright. It's an extension of your central nervous system. And nowhere is it more evident in the neck, where misalignments can irritate the vagus nerve and do an elevation in blood pressure. In fact, in 2007, the Journal of Human Hypertension themselves published a study showing that if you receive upper cervical chiropractic adjustments, that's the first bone in your neck called the atlas, and you set it properly, it reduces systolic blood pressure as much as 17 points on average. So going to a local chiropractor and getting your spine adjusted, if done properly, can lower your blood pressure as much as 17 points systolic and even 10 points diastolic. And that's without the use of any prescriptive medications. The research was so profound that they repeated the study and said, look, the only way we can achieve this medically is to prescribe someone 2 antihypertensive drugs at the same time. Then they saw 17-point drops in systolic. Yet going to a chiropractor and releasing your nervous system, getting your vagal nerve tone reset, does that without the harsh side effects of taking medications. And why does this happen? Because your brain stem is physically controlling your heart rate, your vascular tone, your hormonal secretions. In fact, it controls every square inch of your entire body. When there is a subluxation, that's a misalignment of the spine that interferes with the nerve signaling. It disrupts the signals between your brain and your organs. That could be brain and heart, or brain and thyroid, or brain and gut. This leads often to what's called an increase in sympathetic tone. You're in a fight or flight response. You're in a stressed reaction, and the vagal nerve output starts to drop. Persistent blood pressure elevations are almost always evidenced because the purpose of your parasympathetic nervous system is to slow things down. So if the brake isn't working, but the gas is going, then your blood pressure starts to elevate. This is also a main cause behind palpitations and arrhythmias. Correcting subluxation, specifically in the upper cervical and the thoracic zones, restores neurological communication. It balances the tone of your nervous system, and it relieves stress, which can, of course, be drivers to drive up blood pressure. Now, word of caution, right? Let me just say it this way. Chiropractic itself is not a treatment for blood pressure. What we're doing as chiropractors is removing the interference to the nervous system, and that restores tone and lets the body regulate itself. So I don't want you to think I'm saying that chiropractic care is the treatment for high blood pressure. No, chiropractic care is the treatment for subluxation, which is an interference in your nervous system. You remove a subluxation, innately your body starts to work, and the side effect is blood pressure starts to reset. Watch this. Beyond blood pressure going down, chiropractic care has been shown to change your heart rate variability, which is a major marker of cardiovascular health. A high HRV is associated with lower inflammation, faster recovery, but if you have low HRV, then it's the opposite. You're at a higher risk for cardiovascular disease, less able to recover. And this is why chiropractic care in the AskDrErnst networks is a foundation of how we take care of our patients. We regularly see people with high blood pressure. where it can normalize within weeks, not because of drugs or devices, but because we remove the neurological miscommunication that is silently driving the dysfunction. Ready for this? It's drugless, it's powerful, and it's backed both by research and real-world results that we see every single week. Now, let's shift to the idea of how do you physically stimulate then your vagus nerve. So number 4, if we know the vagus nerve needs to be on good tone, what can we do to stimulate it? Well, chiropractic care, you saw the Journal of Human Hypertension, shows if you get adjusted, you reduce the stress on the nerve, it's a way to increase vagal tone. But because your vagus nerve is one of the longest cranial nerves in your body, it goes from your brainstem all the way down into your heart and into your lungs and into your digestive system. It is the chief driver of your parasympathetic nervous system. So when vagal tone is out of balance, blood pressure can be off. When vagal tone is low, which it is for like 99% of you, sympathetic tone dominates and blood pressure rises. So if you have chronic stress, previous traumas, gut inflammation, or cervical dysfunction, your vagus nerve is often interfered with. This can, of course, increase heart rates, vascular constrictions, and cause a rise in cortisol, all of which contributes to elevated blood pressure. Reactivating the vagus nerve is one of the simplest ways you can begin to stop and drop your blood pressure. How do we do it? Number 1, we seek out chiropractic care looking for structural assessments of the spine to see is our vagus nerve physically interfered with because of a subluxation, and we start to get adjusted to get our spine better. Number 2, we start incorporating these vagal stimulation techniques you can do at home. Did you know that taking a shower and then turning it to the cold and trying to stay in that for as long as you can, 15, 20, 30 seconds, cold showers, cold plunges, etc., vastly stimulates your vagus nerve. One simple way of doing it is just filling your sink with cold water. And I know it's going to sound nuts. It's dunking your face in the cold water for as long as you can. Come on up, dry it off, do it again over and over again. This constant and cold exposures will help stimulate the vagus nerve. They've shown that diaphragmatic breathing, we talked about this earlier, that if we breathe in through our mouth as opposed to in through our nose, mouth breathing stimulates sympathetic systems, nasal breathing stimulates parasympathetics, and diaphragmatic breathing is to breathe in through your nose and watch your stomach come out as opposed to your ribs to lift. And so if we focus on belly breathing, diaphragmatic breathing, we can stimulate the vagus nerve. Did you know that just humming or even singing or gargling, and here's where it gets even better, prayer and meditation, spending quiet time in nature with God, communing with the Creator, all decreases sympathetic tone and helps to drastically drive your vagal nerve function up. There was a scientific study, the Frontiers in Neuroscience and Neurobiology of Stress, shows that regular vagal nervous system stimulation drastically improves blood pressure, resets HRV, reduces inflammation, and even enhances mental clarity. One trial even used non-invasive vagal nerve stimulators and saw a reduction in systemic blood pressure as much as 15 points. There's a device that I've seen called the Pulsetto. It loops around your neck. It has 2 little probes on it. It's app-driven. You can say, run a vagal nerve stimulation technique. The phone sends a signal. You'll feel some microcurrents, and it actually drops blood pressure drastically. In our practice, we combine manual chiropractic manipulative corrections, neuromuscular re-education to train the spine and posture back, vagal nerve exercises and breathing techniques, and I have seen patients literally have their blood pressure go so low while prescriptively medicated that their cardiologist or prescribing physician says, we've got to stop or reduce or lower the medication because you're driving it too far down. We also use products that help to support your adrenal glands and detox the systems of the body. What's the result of doing this method? A calmer nervous system, a slower heart rate, deeper breathing, and yes, significant reduction in your blood pressure. The techniques I'm talking to you guys about are all found in the Heart Disease Heal Thyself ebook. It's yours free. Just simply text the word heart plus your name and email to 704-906-2094. Not only do you get the ebook for free, But in a couple weeks, on Saturday, June 21st, I'm hosting a live masterclass where I will teach you how to identify your root interference of why your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your triglycerides are elevated. And if you're somebody looking for a way out, I promise you, you can do this. You might just need a little guidance and coaching, but it's worth everything if your body starts to heal by itself. Okay, number 5. We talked about food sensitivities and how it creates an inflammatory reaction, and that drives your blood pressure up. So what I'm going to recommend now is the 5th technique to lowering your blood pressure is to get rid of all the inflammatory foods and focus on healing your gut. Look, food is not just fuel to keep you going. We talk about it as information. Every bite you put in your mouth sends a biochemical message to your body. It either promotes healing or it triggers inflammation. When it comes to blood pressure, some of the most inflammatory foods are glutinous-based grains. So wheat and rye and oats. Yes, oats still have some gluten in them. Dairy products, so cream in your coffee. Did you know that sometimes adding creamers to your coffee could be a number one reason why your blood pressure is elevated? Because the dairy promotes inflammation. Sugar, which we've discussed on every show I've ever done. Seed oils, again, which we've discussed on every show I've ever done. Canola, corn, Wesson, vegetables, processed grains, all of the foods that most of us are eating on a daily basis create a low-grade inflammatory process that tightens blood vessels, disrupts hormones, and places a tremendous amount of stress on your kidneys. The inflammation is also known to damage the gut lining, which leads to a leaky gut. So multiple studies, listen to this, the Journal of Nutrients and the Journal of Clinical Hypertension confirm that when you adopt an anti-inflammatory, nutrient-dense diet, and you can see, usually within just 4 to 12 weeks, it says, both drops in systolic and diastolic pressure. But here's the kicker. The diet has to be low in carbohydrates, really high in healthy fats, full of clean proteins, so grass-fed beef and wild-caught fish and free-range chicken and turkey, and micronutrients that help to repair the gut. So the protocols we implement will say, let's remove gluten and dairy and corn and soy and sugar and alcohol and processed oils and replace them with real healing foods. We also target the gut by using probiotics and collagen peptides and bone broth and glutamines, all the nutrients that we know help to seal the gut. Remember, inflammation is the silent sabotager of your cardiovascular health. If you remove inflammatory foods and you heal your gut linings, you will see drops in CRP, interleukin-6, tumor necrosis factor alpha, all the ones that are measured medically to say you have high blood pressure, cholesterol, hypertension, etc. When you heal your gut and you fix your gut, your mood can get better, your energy can get better, your sleep can get better, and yes, your blood pressure can even get better. So there you have it. The top 5 research-supported, time-tested techniques that you can use to lower your blood pressure without medications. Cellular detoxification, intermittent fasting, chiropractic neurological correction so the vagus nerve is stimulated, and focus on gut-centered anti-inflammatory nutrition. These tools will give your body exactly what it needs to heal, and they're all found in the free Heart Disease Heal Thyself ebook, which can be yours right now, 100% free. Text the word HEART plus your name and email to 704-906-2094. I want to highly encourage you to join me in a couple weeks for my live masterclass, Heart Heal Thyself, a functional guide to resetting cardiovascular health issues. If you're looking to lower blood pressure, implement the tools we talked about today, and join us for the masterclass so we can help you seal the deal so your heart heals itself. Simply text the word HEART plus your name and email again to 704-906-2094. That's 704-906-2094. Hey, it's the Ask Dr. Ernst show. All during the next 3 weeks, we're going to be breaking down cholesterol, triglycerides, all the cardiovascular health effects that cause hypertension and heart disease and what you can do to solve them naturally. Again, join me for the masterclass Saturday, June 21st. Grab your free ebook, 704-906-2094, and enjoy the rest of your weekend until I see you next Saturday as we continue the journey of you becoming your own doctor. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next week. Be blessed.